Hello everyone, I'm JG and welcome back to Music Forever, where today I'm bringing you guys a new update video for my vinyl and CD collection. It's been a couple months since I've done one of these. I know the last one I did, I really didn't have all that much to show off, but this time around I do have a bit more to show off for you guys. I have 4 vinyl records and many more CDs that I'm going to be showing off here today. So, with that said, the playlist where all my other vinyl and CD updates are linked in the description down below. I'll also have it up on screen here at the end of the video if you want to check that out. And yeah, with that said, we should get right into this with the first record that I have to show off here today, and that would be Green Day with their album Dookie, the album that really broke them into the mainstream, and probably my second favorite Green Day album, my first being American Idiot, but I already own that one on vinyl. I'm still in the process of getting like my favorite albums of all time on vinyl because I only started my collection a little over a year ago, and I'm still in the process of doing that because vinyl isn't cheap. But yeah, I really like this album. Inside there's the lyrics here on this lyric booklet. On the back side there's pictures of the band. And yeah, all but one of these records I'm going to be showing off here today I own on CD already, and I'll let you know which one that is that I don't own on CD. But this one I do, and I do just really love the album artwork for this album. I'm trying to get it in the center there, but yeah, obviously it's not going to look that good for you on your end, but when you're looking at it up close here, I mean, there's just so much going on here on this album cover, and it's nice to see it blown up here for a full record instead of just a tiny little CD or on like my phone or iPod or something like that. It's just really nice looking. I love this album artwork. The record itself isn't anything special to look at, so I won't bother showing that to you, but great record, pop punk classic, and yeah, great album overall. Next up is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's Metallica with their album Master of Puppets. My favorite Metallica album, I actually reviewed this a while back on my channel as part of my Metallica discography review, so if you want to hear my full thoughts on the album, I've done that before. My thoughts might be a little bit different because that was a while ago, but probably not a ton different. It's still really reflective of my thoughts on the album. Great album, fantastic. There's not much else I could say about it that hasn't already been said before at this point. Inside, it's got the lyrics on this, and in the back, it's got pictures and thank yous and all that jazz. The record itself isn't really worth showing off. Not super interesting looking, but yeah, just a fantastic record overall. That's all there really is to say about it. Keeping on with the themes of some of my favorite albums of all time, we have another one here with My Chemical Romance and The Black Parade, but this isn't the normal version of the album, as you can tell by the cover. This was the 10-year anniversary re-release that they did that also includes the Living with Ghosts tracks on here as well. They wasn't going for much more than the normal album, so I just got this one instead of it. I'm not as big a fan of the album artwork for this version as I am the normal album, because this is just kind of plain, honestly. But, the music itself is great. I heard the bonus tracks before digitally, but of course now I have them on record as well. I own a physical copy of this, but it's just the normal version of the album. I got that before this version was released. And inside, there's lots of nice artwork in here. You got the band. I want to be careful with it because it opens up even more. It folds out. Let me see here. Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah, I can't show the whole thing because it's just that big. But it's just the band in their like Black Parade outfits. There's the 3 records in here as well. I'm kind of surprised that that's all there really is to this. I thought maybe there'd be like, a poster or something. There is like a lyric sheet in here. It's got the lyrics for this. Even if I'm not mistaken, no, it does not have the lyrics for the bonus tracks on here, which is also kind of disappointing. But it does have the lyrics for the normal album tracks. I'm kind of let down, honestly, by this. I mean, I didn't get it for that much, but just the fact that it was, a 10-year thing. The only real bonus on here is the actual bonus music. The packaging itself, I don't really feel is all that much better. even though it is like a kind of nice, sturdy, thicker packaging, if you will, that I do like, but, you know, I'm a little bit let down with the packaging. Still a fantastic record. The bonus content's also pretty good, you know, when it comes to the music, but the packaging itself I'm not that crazy about, but, you know, it's not really worth complaining about. And next up, we have Sleep with their album Holy Mountain. This is a stoner metal classic, and not my favorite Sleep album, but that would be Dope Smoker. But, you know, that's like an hour-long track, and I'm not sure how that would sound on vinyl, because, you know, you'd constantly have to be, you know, changing the side in that, even though it's one track. It just seems like an odd thing to me. Maybe I'll warm up to it and get it on vinyl eventually, but as of right now, I have not. And inside this one, there's, you know, this image here with the band and some of the info there. On the back, you have the lyrics, and in here is the actual record itself, which I do want to show off because it is very nice looking. It's on this like clearish purple color, almost like a maroon color. It's like reddish purple. It's just really nice looking. The majority of the records I have in my collection aren't colored or anything, because I don't go out of my way to buy colored records or anything like that. The ones that I have that are colored just happen to come that way, and that's the same for this one. I didn't know it was colored when I bought it, but here it is. It's colored, and it's pretty nice looking. Honestly, it's pretty beautiful. I mean, it's a great record as well. That wraps up all the records I have to show off here in this video. Only 4 of them, but I should have some more next time around. But next, what I'm going to be showing off are some of the new CDs that I've gotten. The first of them being Ahab with The Call of the Wretched Sea. This is an album, as you can probably tell by the cover, sorry about the glare there, but it's based on Moby Dick, the book. And I came across this record because Mastodon, another band that I'm a big fan of, have an album also about Moby Dick, and for some reason when I was looking up stuff about that album, I found out about this album, decided to check it out, and loved it. I mean, it's a funeral doom album. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's like barely slow doom metal with like death metal growls that are like really slow. I'm not super familiar with the genre all that much, and I wasn't when I stumbled across this album, but I happen to really like it. And it's made me want to explore the genre more, so that's always a good thing. But yeah, I picked this one up because I really like this album. It is worth your time. It's a bit of a long album, but worth your time. The next CD, before I show it, I want to say that, you know, over the past summer or so, I've had a bit more free time to listen to music because I haven't had as much, you know, schoolwork because I've been on break and stuff. And I've spent a lot of time listening to some artists that have gotten, you know, critical acclaim in the past and stuff, but you know, I hadn't just gotten around to listening to them yet, and I found some great music as a result of that. So here I have Björk with her album Homogenic, which she's one of the artists that, you know, I've heard great things about in the past, but never actually checked out any of her music. Decided to do that, check this album out, and I really liked it. A great kind of alternative pop, just record. I don't know what to describe it as, honestly. She has got a fantastic voice. This album showcases that very nicely. I haven't listened to all her albums yet. I'm still in the process of listening to them all, but I really like this album, and yeah, the inside doesn't really have all that much. It just has a lyrical booklet and all that. But yeah, great record itself. The next CD I have to show off is currently my favorite album of the year so far. It's one that I reviewed on the channel. It's Death Grips with Year of the Snitch. I love this record when I first reviewed it, and I think I actually like it even more now. You know, when I returned to this album, it's grown on me even more than what I initially felt towards it. Some of the tracks I wasn't quite as hot on have grown on me since initially hearing it. And there, of course, you can see that great album artwork, and the back is also really interesting looking. It's got like the font on there, it just looks so like slapped together, like the 7th graders like a school project or something. And I think that works great with Death Grips and kind of just how they roll, I guess. And then inside it's got the lyrics here as it folds out. You have the CD in the one side, and that's it really. Pretty thin CD overall, if you can see that there. But yeah, a great album. So far, my favorite of the year. I mean, we'll have to wait till the end of the year when I do my list to see if it stays there, but it's definitely going to be on the list somewhere. Next up, we have another album that came out this year that I really liked. Many of the CDs I picked up were for albums that were released this year that I really enjoyed. And this is Father John Misty with God's Favorite Customer. I reviewed this in one of my catch-up reviews. Like I said, Matt, I was new to Father John Misty and his music, and I really liked this album when I heard it. And yeah, I like the back. It has this red and gold kind of thing going for it. You open it up, and it's got this like flowery kind of pattern. You got the CD on one side, and the other you have the poster lyric booklet thing. Yeah, I'll show that off. It's kind of like, that's the one side there. It's got like lyrics or like credits for the tracks. It doesn't have the lyrics. I'm sorry for saying that. It's just like the credits, really. And then on this side it has like yeah, just more credits for the other tracks. I kind of wish it was like everything on one side of the poster. That way I could like hang it up. But I kind of feel bad like hanging up one side and having the other side like facing against the wall where I'll never see it, because I like both sides of this very, very much. Yeah, I mean, that's not a big problem. Lots of CDs have that going for them. But yeah, this is a great album overall. Really liked it. One of my favorites of the year so far. Next one is also a project I reviewed this year. One that I wasn't, in love with, I guess, but it's one I still picked up on CD anyway because I thought it would be a great album to listen to in the summer. And that's the new Gorillaz album, the Now Now. A great summer album, like I just said. I did listen to this a fair bit when I was recently on vacation. It just fits the mood of being like on the beach or just on a road trip or something like that nicely. On the back there you have the artwork of the group. Once again, I apologize for the glare. And then of course you open it up. It's got this nice red and pink, or not red and pink, blue and pink aesthetic to it that you can also see on the album artwork. And inside it's just got the pictures of the group and stuff like that, as well as credits. The typical stuff you would expect to see in a CD booklet. But yeah, this is a solid album. Like I said, it's not one that I'm in love with or anything like that, but I felt like it was worth getting on CD for the summer, just to listen to and stuff. And yeah, don't regret that at all. Next, we're going back a couple years, or a little more than that, with High on Fire with their album Luminiferous, which is one of my favorite albums of 2015. This is the album that introduced me to High on Fire. Really love their music. They've been pretty consistent recently, and I believe they have a new album coming out later this year as well, which I'm really excited to hear if that's the case. Also, the inside here is pretty cool as well, if I can get it open. Nothing crazy, lyrics and stuff. More artwork back there. I know it's difficult to see because of the glare, but there's like a skull and like a hand grabbing it. Or something like that. Also, Matt Pike of this band, who's the guitarist and vocalist for High on Fire, is also the guitarist for Sleep, who I was just showing off their vinyl record earlier, the purple one that was really nice and pretty. And they also released an album earlier this year as well. So it's kind of interesting that I'm showing both bands off here in this video, and one has an album coming out later this year, and one already had an album that came out earlier this year. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Next up, we're returning to the new albums with Mike Shinoda and his album Post Traumatic. Linkin Park member Mike Shinoda kind of coming here on this record talking about the past few months of his life since the death of Chester Bennington, also of Linkin Park. Reviewed this one if you want to hear my full thoughts on that. But the record itself doesn't really contain anything that you would say is all too crazy for a record. There is some artwork in here in the CD booklet that is very nice. There's some of it there. I'm not going to show it off. But on the back, there's also a little note from Mike where he's talking about how in the months following Chester's death, that making music and these paintings that are shown here in the booklet and are just kind of part of the aesthetic of the post-traumatic album, how they were kind of helpful for him in this time period. So I like how the artwork is tied to the music and just Mike's personal life in this time. But yeah. Great album as well. Probably going to make my best of year list too. And while we're on the topic of great hip-hop albums released this year, we also have Royce da 5'9"'s Book of Ryan here. Once again, kind of difficult to see because of the glare. It's such a shiny, like, smooth cover here for this one. but this is also a great album, and I really like the inside here as well. There's pictures of Royce, growing up, not just in the inside there, but also in the booklet. As you can see, there he is on there. There's pictures of him growing up and stuff, along with these credits for the songs. And the album itself deals with, if you're unfamiliar with it, Royce in his childhood, and the whole album is him kind of talking to his son, reflecting on his childhood and all that stuff. He tells many personal stories on this thing. So the fact that the artwork inside reflects that is something that is always something I appreciate seeing in artwork for albums. Yeah, really good album. Next up, to kind of go back to what I was talking about earlier with bands that have gotten critical acclaim that I haven't bothered to check out until now. Another one that I happened to check out was Swans, and I checked out their album To Be Kind because this is the one that Melon gave the 10 to, so I was like, I should check that one out. And yeah, I really do like this album. I'm not quite sure I'd give it a 10, but like a 9 out of 10 probably. It's a great album overall. Like with Bjork, I haven't listened to all their albums yet, and hopefully someday I will get to talk about Swans on this channel besides just showing off albums, because they have a really interesting career, lots of different sounds that they've explored. And this is a double album, over like 2 hours of music across this thing. And if you probably can't tell just looking at it, but this thing is cardboard here. It's got like the sticker there, and on the inside, obviously, it's got the CDs in there, as you can see. But this is cardboard, and honestly, it looks kind of ugly in my opinion. I mean, it probably won't look that way when you're looking at it just in the video here, but it's kind of hideous looking, honestly. I know the cover artwork kind of does match this color to some extent. It always looks like this brownish, whitish color when I see it digitally, and this definitely looks like it. But it doesn't change the fact that this looks really kind of cheap, kind of tacky. Maybe there's an aesthetic reason for it that I'm just not getting, but I'm not a fan of the cardboard-looking album. It just does not look nice in my opinion. Not also to mention the fact that the booklet itself is pretty bare bones as well. You've got on the one side the credits and stuff there, lyrics and all that, and then the back side of it is just this reoccurring image of like this plus sign thing. Kind of lazy how they just did the same design over again. I mean, I guess that kind of reflects the music on here, which is at times kind of droning and repetitive, but it's a lot more interesting to listen to than I guess to look at in a CD, especially given how big and gargantuan this album can feel at times. The fact that the packaging feels really kind of slapped together, didn't leave me with the best impression, honestly. A fantastic record, fantastic music. CD itself, the packaging and stuff gets a thumbs down from me, though. I'm happy with the music, but kind of not a fan of the packaging at all. Next up is one that I mentioned I might be showing off in this video in a recent review of mine. It's Travis Scott with his album Rodeo. I mentioned this in my review of his newest album, Astroworld, which is not as good as this album. This is, I'm not a big fan of more modern hip-hop, more poppier, trappier hip-hop, if you will, but this is a great album, I feel. And I did feel the urge to pick it up on CD as a result. And inside you have, there it says Rodeo. You have, like, Cactus, Travis, I guess. I'm not sure what else to describe that as, honestly. And in here you have the booklet, or poster booklet thing. If I can fold it open here. On the one side you have, like, this Travis figure thing poster, which is nice looking on the back. You have the back side of the figure with like the lyrics there. This is a nice little poster, honestly. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll hang it up somewhere because it looks very, very kind of cool, honestly. Yeah, not all that much crazy going on in the packaging, but it is a very good album in my opinion. So yeah. And then the last CD I have to show off here today, unfortunately, this video must end sometime, but it's a new album from Tupperware Remix Party, Together Through Time. Another album I reviewed this year, and another just good summer album, like the Gorillaz album I showed before, except I like this album a fair bit more, I would say. On the inside here, you have the artwork continuing, the CD there. I like how it matches the artwork in the background. That's nothing crazy or anything like that, but I do like it. You have all the thanks and stuff there. There's no booklet for this one, though. I'm kind of okay with that because Tupperware Remix Party are a smaller band out there. If you're not familiar with them, They have like a mix of rock, electronic, funk kind of sounds to them. I've always kind of described them as if like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Van Halen, and Daft Punk had a baby. That might be the best way to describe it. They've also done some work with Ninja Sex Party as well, if you're familiar with them. But yeah, this is an album worth checking out if that sounds interesting to you at all, that sound. Yeah, pretty great project in my opinion, also likely to make my year-end list, unless we're just, inundated with some fantastic releases in the second, half of this year. But, more likely than not, this will be there. And this is an album I'm happy to pick up on CD, once again, considering that they are a smaller band. And I would also be happy to pick this up on vinyl if they were to release it like that. But yeah, that was all the CDs I had to show off here today. That really does sum things up here for this video. Like I said, 4 records and several more CDs I had to show off here in this video. If I had to guess, the next update I'll be doing for this collection will probably be around the end of November, Thanksgiving time for those of you in the United States. If you're not in the United States watching, that's like the end of November. So around then, I'm guessing the next CD vinyl collection update video will come out. And that will probably be a smaller one like the last one I did. And then the one after that, which comes after the holidays, that one will probably be a bigger update where I'll have a lot more stuff to show off like this one, because, I'll probably get a fair bit more for the holidays. But yeah, with that said, those are just the updates to my collection. Feel free to leave some of the new stuff that you've picked up for your collection in the comment section down below. I would greatly appreciate seeing some of your recent additions, what they are. And while you're down there, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more collection updates, if you want to see album reviews, countdown lists, discussion videos, all that types of stuff. If you like that, subscribe. And with that said, thanks for watching, guys, and stay golden.